Hi there, so we're going to do a walkthrough of the 747. So we're going to start from the outside and then work our way onto the inside. So the first thing we're going to start with is the dimensions. It's 2.9 meters high, 2.35 meters wide and 7.4 meters long. So it's not particularly high, it's a low line, but you do have to be aware of any low bridges. Always come out into the centre of the bridge to make sure you don't clip the corners. And with the length for being 7.5 meters, there's quite a big distance from the back wheel to the back bumper. That means when you turn, you will get a lot of swing on there. So just keep an eye on the in the mirrors just to see what the back's doing. When you're reversing and parking, there are reversing cameras on there, but it's always best to have someone out just to see your back if possible. So when you get to your site or wherever you are, if you could pop these in like that just to stop them getting hit by other cars. The diesel filler is down the bottom here, and you have to open the door to be able to access it, and then you just pop the nozzle in there and you fill up. And when you return the motorhome, if you could bring it back with the same amount of fuel as when you left. And underneath here, this is where the AdBlue goes. Now, we try to keep them topped up, but we can only put AdBlue in the motorhome if a light comes on. So if a light comes on your journeys, if you're able to buy some, then we will refund you when you get back from your trip. Moving round here, this is the gas locker. So we open it up like this, and then in here we have some toilet chemicals. So we have a blue chemical there, and we also have the tablets, the sachets. So you may have one or the other in there, or you may have both. Basically, if you use the toilet fluid, when you unscrew the toilet cap, you fill it half full with the toilet fluid and then pour it in there. Not this cap, the cap on the actual toilet cassette itself. Or if you're using the sachets, you pop a sachet into the toilet cassette after you've changed it, a little bit of water, it'll dissolve, and then do the same thing. This is the gas tank here, and you turn it on and off by the switch here. So if you look carefully, you've got a plus and a minus. So if you turn it to the minus, that turns it off, and then turn it clockwise towards the plus, and that turns it on. So before you set sail on your journey, few checks you have to make. One is that the gas is turned off. Number two, make sure that your electric hookup cable's been pulled out. Thirdly, make sure that all the windows, doors and hatches and any windows and doors and any fridge doors or anything like that in the motorhome also closed. And just make sure that there's no loose items on the side, because they will go flying. So moving around to here, we have the habitation door stay. Just please note that they're not brilliant. So when it closes, if you get a big gust of wind come by, the door will fly round, and if you're not careful, will hit you in the face. Be especially careful if you've got pets or small children. So here we have a fly blind on the door. Again, just be aware that if that door swings round, the bin will break the fly blind. Moving round to here, we have the vents for the fridge. So if you're going to put the fridge onto gas, always a good idea just to have a little listen for the flame in the bottom right corner. As soon as you hear the flame, you know that it's ignited. If you're on electric, then it doesn't matter. Down here, this is where the electric hookup goes. So in the garage, we'll have a 30-meter hookup cable, and you just plug it in there, and then you plug it in the other end at your site. Again, make sure that you check it, that you've pulled it out before you drive off, because it's got a lock-in feature. So what it means, if you drive off with a cable in, it rips all of the insides out. So to release the cable, you just press the button down and you just pull the cable out. Moving round to the back, we have the garage. And in the garage we have a hookup cable, a hose, we have some leveling ramps. So the leveling ramps are there so that if you're on a site and it's uneven, then you put a ramp under the wheel, drive up it, and then you can level out. Also in the back here, we've got some cushions which make up the back bed, and then there's a white briefcase there. Now that opens up into a table and 4 chairs. There's a ladder to the right here. That ladder is for the drop down bed. Just hooks on the side. And then finally the black thing under the bottom there, that is a pump, and also like it puts like a glue in there. So if you get a puncture on your way, then you pump it up with that, with the glue, and it holds it till you can get a repair. There is no spare wheel on this van, but if you were to get a flat tire or anything like that, then give me a ring and I'll get someone out to sort it for you. On the back here we have a bike rack to take 4 bikes, and at the very top here we have 2 reversing cameras. One comes down and faces the bike rack, and the other faces out the back, so you can use it as a rear view camera. Please note that whenever you put it in reverse, it will always show you the view to the bike rack, which makes it easy to park. Here is the other side of the garage, and there's a 230 socket in there, and that's just the other bits and pieces. So to lock these cupboards up, what we do, we close it, we turn the handles, put the key in, turn the key, and just close it like so. Half turn. Oh, there we go. There is the toilet cassette. Here is where you fill up with fresh water. So there's a 20-meter hose in the garage. You just pop the hose in, turn the hose on, and when it all gushes out, it's filled up. There's a 100-litre fresh water tank, and then there's a 100-litre wastewater tank. So the wastewater tank is all of your washing up water and all of your shower water, and that sits in a big grey tank under the bottom here. And this little handle here, this black handle, this is the handle to release the water. So if you push it in like that, that's locked off. So when you're at your site, you'll lock it off, and most sites will have like a big grid that you drive over, and then all you do is you pull the handle out, and it will release all of the water straight underneath the van into the grid. Finally, moving over to the boiler vent. So when you put the boiler on, always a good idea on gas. It's always a good idea just to have a little feel for any hot air coming out. That way you know that it's ignited. One problem you may get, only on gas, don't worry about electric. One problem you may get is if this window is open, there's a micro switch here, and that prevents carbon monoxide from going up inside the motorhome. So if the control panel tells you that the window's open and it won't work, then this is the window you need to close.